and you starting from scratch. You start from the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Like you literally have to start all the way over. Right?
When I got out of prison, no house, no car, no money, no nothing. No friends either.
Wow.
The fact that all of these people in my life that meant something to me, I didn't mean nothing to them.
Wow.
Because I was emotional, I was heartbroken, I didn't have nothing. You know,
nobody.
I'm 53 years old, coming out of prison. How in the world I'm gonna start all over again? I got a PhD. Who's gonna pay me?
Wow.
I went and got a job at a church in Sicklerville. I brought home $450 a week.
Wow.
That's what I brought home 7 years ago.
Yeah.
6 years ago.
Wow. Right.
I never was late on my rent.
Take us through that, and what was the mindset that you had going in? Like you got to do this time now. So it's like, yo, hold up. You go from. Hold up. Let me set this up. So you go from #1 overall draft pick, right?
Yeah.
Playing in the NFL. You know what we do? 17 years in the league. 17 years in the league.
Yeah.
You know, houses, cars. You know, church, all of that, right? Preaching.
Yeah, man.
And then we go down into where now you got to go into prison. Now we was just at the peak. Now we got to go down into the valley.
I'm the best and the worst of the NFL.
Talk about it.
The best. I'm the dream and the nightmare.
Come on.
In terms of the NFL.
Yeah.
The dream. Okay, I'm drafted #1 pick. Been to a Super Bowl.
Right.
Pro Bowls. Played 17 years. You know, honors and things like that. And then the one who ends up in prison with nothing.
Nothing.
That's the dream and the nightmare.
Wow.
But there's always the comeback. You know,
there's always the comeback.
I think LL said,
"That's right.
Don't call it
a comeback. I've been here for years. Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
But yeah, my financial illiteracy led to my incarceration. One, because I allowed someone who I thought at the time, and this, you got to be careful. You really do. You got to vet people. This is a guy who's my fraternity brother, a friend of mine that I've known for years, that I've done business with, who ended up doing some fraudulent things. And because I was connected to him, long story short, the state was able to convince a jury that I had something to do with it. Or if I didn't have anything to do with it, I didn't say anything. And I end up getting sentenced to 5 years. I only ended up doing actually physically 8 months in prison. But then when I came out of prison, I was on a program for 21 months called ISP, Intensive Supervision Program. It's not probation. It's almost like parole, but you can have a phone. I was mandated to have 2 jobs. They took 20% of my check after taxes from the first job.
Wow.
And they took 100% of my check.
Man.
During the second, I did that for 21 months. So I was really in prison for 3 years.
Right.
Really. And man, when I came out, I didn't have anything. I really didn't have anything. Let me tell you about a story, though, when I went in. Because this was something that, I remember that first day in prison, man, was like an hour took 24 hours. It's like it was 24 hours and only an hour that went by.
Right.
And I remember saying to myself, I was just sleeping in my bed.
Yeah.
Now I'm in this prison cell. And I didn't know when I was going to get out. I had no idea. My attorneys were less than adequate. I didn't know that until they actually got into the courtroom. You seen My Cousin Vinny?
Yeah. You
remember that?
Yep,
attorney?
remember that movie? Yep.
It's funny to us, but that's how my attorney was.
Wow.
He was a former federal prosecutor who became a defendant attorney. And he was great uncovering information, so on and so forth. We get in the courtroom, and he can't talk.
Wow.
I'm like, oh my God.
Oh man, you done set me up.
But it was
Right.
but what was going on was so obvious. I mean, we got to do a part B.
Right.
Like, we're gonna have to do a courtroom.
Yeah, absolutely.
A courtroom session. Come back and do
absolutely
a part 2 of this.
Yeah.
But I end up in prison.
Okay.
So I'm state property because it was the state that prosecuted me and persecuted me and convicted me. During my sentencing, the judge said before she actually sentenced me, Mr. Fryar, and this is all facts, Mr. Fryar, I would have found you innocent. That's what she said.
Wow.
And I'm thinking to myself, if you would have found me innocent, why are you treating me like I'm guilty?
Right.
Send me to prison. I'm state property. I'm in the county for like 4 or 5 days there in Burlington County in Mount Holly. But I'm state property, so they got to get me out and get me to a state prison. They send me to a place called Craft. It's in Trenton. Central Relocation and Assignment Facility. CRA.
Unshakable Nation, I am so grateful to have met Kenny recently. He's such an inspiration. And it's a pleasure knowing that he's also using our teleprompter on Zoom. Our app keeps him engaged with the camera, but keeps him on track with all of his videos, and it saves him a ton of time. We also know that 90% of people, they get nervous when they're going on camera. But having a teleprompter there helps with that anxiety. We also have a video platform for managing media and scripts. We worked out a deal with Kenny. So if you use our teleprompter on Zoom, $4.99 a month, you also get access to pitchup.com. So you get access through 2023 with this platform. It's a $14 a month saving. Here's our promotion code. So reach out to us anytime. We're so grateful for this opportunity to help business professionals be more confident on camera. And so thank you, Kenny and the Unshakable Nation.
That's where I learned all this. You learn all this stuff while you're going through. That's where whoever gets convicted and sentenced to prison in the state of New Jersey, they got to go to Craft first.
Okay.
And then they get reassigned to a different prison in the state. Some do stay in Craft their whole sentence, and most get reassigned. So I go to Craft, and they bring me in. They put me on this tier with not celebrities, but high guys who were cops, politicians, high-profile people like that. They put me on a tier with them.
Okay.
So I go in the tier, and the tier is a big door that opens up. On the left side of the tier, you got windows and bars, and you got a few tables and a couple TVs. That's where the phone is. And then on the right side of the tier are all the cells. All the way at the end is the shower. There's like 18 cells. Wow. I'm in the last cell.
The last one.
I'm carrying my stuff, and I'm going by. I got to walk through everybody.
Man.
I'm walking through everybody. Now, apparently, I guess some of them knew I was coming because they had come up there to examine everything, and some of the officials. So they put me in the last cell right next to the shower by myself. I never had a cellmate.
Okay.
So I go in, and my cell door's open. I'm putting my stuff up on the bunk. As I'm putting my stuff up on the bunk, guys from the tier start walking in. They start coming in, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, I got to fight already.
Oh, man. What
are you coming in my cell for, man? My gosh. Okay, so I turn around. I'm ready. I'm like, okay, I got to do this. I got to do this. I turn around, and cats start handing me stuff. Clothes.
Wow.
Underwear. When you're in prison, now if you're there for a long period of time, they only give you like 2 pair of underwear, 2 T-shirts, 1 pair of pants, a pair of Bobo sneakers, 1 shirt. So if you're there for a significant period of time, that stuff's not going to last.
Right.
They give you jobs, and you end up spending that money to buy more underwear and stuff like that. The essentials: soap, toothpaste, toothbrush, socks. Guys start bringing stuff, food. Guys start bringing stuff in like that.
Wow.
They're giving it to me.
Wow.
What is this? I asked one of the guys, what are you guys doing? What is this? He said, this is what we do. He said, everybody that comes in here is not having a good day. Everybody that comes in here, they have been found guilty. Whether they're guilty or not, they've been found guilty.
Yeah.
We're here, and this is what we do on this tier, to give you what you need so we can help you.
Wow.
And the Holy Spirit started talking to me right there, and he said, that's how church folks supposed to be.
That's it.
That's how Christianity is supposed to. Then I said I had to come to prison to meet good people.
Come on.
Really?
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
You mean because nobody really had ever done anything for me. I was always the doer. I was always the giver. I was always the one sacrificing for other. And I don't say this in a negative way. It's just the facts.
It's just a fact.
You can ask anybody.
Right.
I was always the one sacrificing for other people. And now here are these cats, when we're all in the same boat, making sure I have what I need, to make the journey just a little bit easier. Yeah. Let me tell you about this too, and I'll be done with this.
Go ahead.
There was an angel, man. You can't tell me that when God makes us the promise that he will never leave us, nor will he forsake us.
Right.
I didn't know this until later on.
Right.
A lot of times when you're in the storm,
Yep.
it's hard to hear the voice of God.
It is.
It's hard to know God's voice because the storm is making all kinds of noise. So it's hard to be able to know it's God.
Yeah.
But oftentimes God doesn't speak in the storm.
That's right.
God shows us in the storm.
Come on.
He'll make things available for us in an ocular demonstration during the storm because we can't hear him.
Right.
We can't hear him. So much is going on when we're in a storm. So that first day when I was sentenced, they take me downstairs, do whatever they had to do. They take me to this room. I guess it's the intake area where anybody who was arrested that day. And in that room, it's a big room. They got bunks in a common area, but then they have along one of the walls, they have individual cells, one person cells. And every time I would have to go back, like when I went back for the divorce, I came from the state prison, came back to the county for the divorce, they put me in one of those individual cells. So now I'm in one of those individual cells. They didn't put me in the common area with everybody else, but in the common area where everybody who got arrested for whatever that day, waiting to get processed the next day, they're all out there. There's a shower out there, but there's a bunch of bunks. It's probably 20, maybe 30 people out there. So I'm in my cell. I'm trying to deal with, the fact that I'm in here now. And I don't know how it happened, but there's a little window on the door so I could see out. And you could see a little bit through one of the cracks where the door came together, where the hinges were.
Right.
A white guy came to the door and started talking to me. I don't know his name.
Yeah.
I don't remember to this day.
To this day, yeah.
He asked me, said, first time in, right? I said, yeah. And I don't even know why I went up to the door and started talking to him.
Right.
Because I was distraught, bro.
Yeah, of course.
First time in, right? Didn't ask me what I did. Said, you never been convicted before? Never been in prison before? I said, no. He said, okay, this is what's going to happen. They're going to do this. When they do that, this is what you do. They're probably going to send you to Jones Farm, all right? When you go to Jones Farm, they're going to evaluate you. They're going to process you. You're going to go before the board. When you go before the board, you tell the board, when you go to Kraft, you tell the board you want to go to Jones Farm. When you go to Jones Farm, they'll send you to Jones Farm. Don't worry about it. When you go to Jones Farm, just mind your business. You'll be all right. Stay to yourself, but you'll be fine. And it's a better place. You want to go to this building in Jones Farm. You're probably going to be in this amount of time, but this is what's going to happen. Now, mind you, the whole time I was in, whether it was on the tier in Kraft with the high profile guys, they were telling me don't go to Kraft. They were saying this is going to happen, that's going to happen. You're going to be in this long. People were always trying to tell me what was going to happen. What that guy told me, I did what he said, and everything happened that he said was going to happen from the beginning to the end.
Come on now.
I don't know who that cat was.
Yeah.
Don't know what his name was. He was my angel.
Yeah.
He gave me direction and told me what to do. And I did what he did.
Yeah.
What he said.
Right.
And everything turned out. I'm talking about exactly.
To the T. That's crazy.
God sent an angel for me.
Yeah.
Because I was lost.
Absolutely.
I was lost in my spirit. My faith was holding on, but I was still lost.
Right.
And I didn't know what to do.
Wow.
I didn't know how long I was going to be in there.
Yeah.
I didn't know. And that was I had other cats in my ear, but I remember what he said.
Yeah.
And for some reason in my spirit, I kept doing what he said, and it worked out.
Right.
It worked out.
Yeah. I think that right there, like that discernment that you had from the other individuals, it sounded like a little confusion going on, and God was speaking very clear.
Right. Well, he only spoke one time.
That's what I'm saying.
All the other confusion came later on. Right. That resonated in my spirit.
Right.
Right there.
Right there.
Because it was a quiet moment. There wasn't anybody else around. It was just me and him. And that's what and every time I got ready to make a move, I remember what he said.
Right.
No, he said do this.
Right. You just kept going.
That.
So you get out of prison, and you're starting from scratch. You're starting from the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Like you literally have to start all the way over.
I was divorced. My wife at the time of 28 years finalized. Well, she divorced me when I got I got the divorce papers when I got indicted.
Wow.
When I was indicted, the trial and stuff wasn't until a year later. I don't know if she purposefully waited until I was in prison to finalize the divorce.
Was it stuff that was prior to
What do you
for the
mean?
divorce? Like, you guys were going through stuff prior to the divorce, or was it because
I think we were just going in. I don't.
Yeah.
To this day, I don't. She said the paperwork says irreconcilable differences. That's her reason for divorcing me.
Right.
I mean, did we have a perfect marriage? No,
Of course not.
but we weren't arguing. We weren't at one another's necks. We weren't in agreement necessarily.
Right.
And things weren't a bed of roses.
Right.
But for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, for sickness and health.
Right. Right.
So when I got indicted, she filed for divorce. When that happened, I got emotional and I left the house. Got an apartment and stayed in my apartment.
Yeah.
But the divorce wasn't finalized until I was in prison.
Right. Right.
When I got out of prison, no house, no car, no money, no nothing. No friends either.
Wow.
Wow. That was the hardest for me.
Yeah.
And it took me years, literally years to get over this.
Yeah.
The fact that all of these people in my life that meant something to me, I didn't mean nothing to them.
Wow.
It took me I was on the edge, bro.
Yeah, bro.
I almost went back to prison.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I almost did some stupid stuff.
Wow.
Because I was emotional, I was heartbroken. I didn't have nothing.
Nobody.
I'm 53 years old, coming out of prison. How in the world I'm gonna start all over again? I got a PhD. Who's gonna pay me?
Wow.
I went and got a job at a church in Sicklerville. I brought home $450 a week.
Wow.
That's what I brought home 7 years ago.
Yeah.
6 years ago.
Wow.
And God, listen to me. My bills didn't stop.
Right.
I still had bills. I was still taking care of my mom. I was still taking care of bills. I still had bills.
Right.
My bills were way above my income.
Right.
Bro, I don't know how.
Yeah.
He took those 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread.
Right.
And fed 5,000 people.
Yeah.
That's what he did in my life.
Yeah.
God, I don't know how he divided it and multiplied it, but I never was late on my rent.
Wow.
I wasn't.
So to the message to somebody that's having to start over right now, where you started from nothing, $450 a week.
Literally nothing. People think that I'm joking when I say nothing.
Right.
No, literally nothing.
Yeah.
I had some pension coming in.
Right.
But my former wife got half of that.
Right.